I'm guilty of loving fast swimming, but the one thing I care about more than that is the people I care about swimming well, and that happened on multiple occasions this morning. First and foremost, one of the guys I care about the most in the swimming world, Max Litchfield, and this is the cap he wore to get silver in Doha. Swam brilliant this morning. He went his second fastest 400 IM of all time, 4:09.5, to be second into the 4 AM finals behind only home favourite Leon Marchand, and he looked brilliant. Just his third 4:09 in his career. One of them was in 2017, one of them was at British Trials, and one of them was this morning in the heats. He looked phenomenal, and it fills me with joy. In fact, I'm wearing this South Africa sweater right now, and this is the pool where I first started coaching him. He turned up jet lagged, plenty of sun cream on, and done a nice easy aerobic pool session. First time I coached him in this pool, and I want nothing more than him to be on the podium later, and I'm going to be nervous all day and excited all day for him. I wish him all the best. Beyond that, we had two more swimmers. I was in Naples the whole of last week with Nastya Gorbenko. She got her Olympic campaign underway in the 100 breaststroke. It was only going to be just a sort of warm-up swim. She never had inspiration of swimming the semis or the finals. She went 1:06.2, her second fastest swim of all time. We would have been 7th in the semis, and now she'll spend the rest of the day resting for her 4 AM tomorrow. And lastly, there's my Siobhan Jorge cap framed on the wall. I actually have a Joe Litchfield cap framed on the wall because I needed to replace it with a Max, but I'm waiting to move to replace my Joe with a Max cap. Sorry, Joe, you're going to lose your place on the wall. But yes, Siobhan Jorge, first swim for her. She started her campaign 200 freestyle. Smooth, controlled, brilliant skills, brilliant turns. Everyone was picking up on that. She's 5th through to the semi-finals tonight. I will, as I'm going to do every session, recap the entirety of this morning's events now. Day 2 prelims of the Paris 2024 Olympic Games. But before I proceed with that, I do just want to say, if you're liking this, hit the like button. It helps the algorithm. Subscribe to this channel for all the other content I'm doing over this Olympic Games. And lastly, it's the last day today of my SAL, of my new off-season speed skills training program. It's just £25 from £100. It's the Olympic launch deal, and it's 4 weeks of training to help you get faster over the off-season, so you raise your ceiling of potential basically by the time you start next season in September. Check it out on my website. Get it, it's 75% off, or maybe check out some of my other merch or training plans. Without further ado, today we started with the men's 200 freestyle, and the only person I really want to talk about in that race was David Popovic. His campaign's underway now, and he looks smooth, controlled, and beautiful in the water. He led the prelims with a 1:45.6, and I don't think he was doing too much to make that happen. He's followed closely by Danis Rapsis, who was also 1:45, and then we had an onslaught of 1:46s with Lucas Henvo of Belgium, trains at Loughborough Uni. He was in 3rd. Duncan and Matt Richards both made it back comfortably for GB, and probably the biggest misses was the two Chinese guys, Xi and Pan. They sucked. 1:49s, they weren't even close. Basically, bottom of the whole list. They obviously had no interest. And Chris Giuliano, who made this massive swim to come second at US Trials, he was well off the pace, 19th with a 1:47.6. And I must say, America had a really bad morning, in my opinion, with the exception of a few superstars like Ryan Murphy. And then the next event was the men's 4 AM. Just 2 heats, just 16 swimmers. 16 would be cut to 8. And again, America having a bad morning. Defending Olympic champion Chase Kalish out. 11th, he didn't make an impact on the first heat, which was by far the slower heat. The first heat was won by Carson Foster in 4:11.0, and that's 4th back. So 3 people were faster than him in the second heat, sorry. And Chase 4:13, it's just not going to cut it. You have to go harder than that. You have to go faster than that, and he will be out. So will Brendan Smith, who was in the final last time around. And there was a crazy tie 6th. 3 men tied at 6th, which is 6th, 7th, and 8th. If one person had pushed them back, there'd have been a 3-way swim off for 2 places in the final, which would have been crazy, but didn't happen, probably for the benefit of the athletes. But Leon Marchand was the most easy 4:08.3 I've ever seen in my life. Dai Sato started really strong, especially on the 100 fly, but Max overtook him quite comfortably in the end to beat him by 1.4. He was 4:10.9. Carson 4th. Rossetti and Clareburt in 6th. I'd have liked to have seen him have to do a swim off Clareburt because that would have tied him out for the final a little bit more. But alas, I shouldn't hope anything. I'm a big fan of Clareburt, and he's a great talent as well. He's already been 4:08 to win Doha earlier this year. But yes, Max is in 2nd. Max will be in lane 5, surrounded by Leon Marchand and Carson Foster, and I'm going to be rooting for him so hard all day. The first women's event was the women's 100 breaststroke. Tatiana Smith, previously Tatiana Shoemaker, she was the class of the field, closing in 34.4 to go 105.00. Wow, she looks good, and my God, does Rocco Mary and her coach at Tux in South Africa know how to do the Olympics. They don't show up massively in between the Olympics, but the Olympics comes around and they are hot. Tatiana was hot, so was her teammate Peter Kotzia in the 100 backstroke, and also hot was Mona McSharry, a brilliant swim to be 3rd with a 105.7. Tang, who is the fastest this year with a 104.3, she looked kind of comfy with 105.6. She's 2nd through. Evans, who's been brilliant, 105s in season all the time. She was 106.3 to make it back in 12th. And there wasn't any massive misses. Roots looked really good to 50 and 30.1. She either tied up or eased up. We'll see tonight. 16th place was Marcena Caballos of Argentina in 106.8. And then we had the men's 100 backstroke. Only 3 52s. One of them was Hubert Koss, who had a massive back end of 7.0 to go 52.7, and he looked mean and composed after he finished that. Really pushed the back end. Peter looked really good on the swim portions, bad on the skill portions, but was 2nd in 52.9. And Ryan Murphy had the most outrageous turn I've ever seen in my life. To pop up, crush everyone, then shut it down to go 53.0, 4th through. Hunter Armstrong was kind of just in the middle of the pack. I think he's going to have a lot more later. And Thomas Chacon, the world record holder, was back in 12th in 53.4. He was 52.3 at Seti Collie just weeks ago, unrested. So I think he's holding back as well. And it looked like Hugo Gonzalez slipped on the start, but fought through to make it back in 14th. He will be a lot better later. Both British guys, Johnny Marshall and Ollie Morgan, will be in the semi-finals. And lastly, the women's 200 freestyle. And it was, I mean, this is slow. And when I say slow, it's slow in terms of 16th place, not the top end. The top end, the girls are so far ahead, they just do what they need to do. But 16th place at the Olympic Games was 159.2. That is embarrassing. That's the same as what it is to make a semi-finals at US Trials, and it is 7 seconds adrift of the world record, and the 2 girls that go 152, the 2 Aussie girls go 152. 7 seconds adrift. In fact, it's over 7 seconds off the world record. That's the equivalent of men getting back to the semi-finals in 149. It's embarrassing. What world swimming needs to be deeper than this. Women's swimming needs to be deeper than this. 159 has no right in an Olympic semi-final. I'm not being critical here. At the top end, Molly O'Callaghan had a big last 50 of 28.5, a big underwater 155.7. I mean, she's just chilling at this point. Mary Sophie Harvey done a great job to win her heat in 156.2. She overtook Arnie at the end. They were both 156.2s. So was Bingji Lee, who just touched out Siobhan. Bingji charged to beat Siobhan. Siobhan just chilled out. She was like, yeah, I'm going to come 5th in the into the semis with a 156.3. She was smiling at the end. She was happy. I mean, she looked really good, to be honest. She had a good start, good skills. She done it. She's a professional. She never wants to win a heat because that would require more energy than it's needed. And like when 159 is making it back, why does Siobhan need to do anything more than 156.2? True professional. And that was this morning's swimming. I hope you enjoyed this recap. I will be going live for finals later with Brett, Nate and Megs. So if you want to tune into that, make sure you do. We're live for the whole time. Commentating the swimming. Obviously we can't show it. We're not allowed to show it. And then I'll be doing a recap of the finals straight after that. So subscribe to the channel for plenty more content. Hit the like button. Leave a comment. I keep meaning to ask you a question at the beginning of the video to get the comments. But what do you think is the first world record to go at this meet? Do we see a world record tonight? Let me know. Do we see a world record tonight? And if so, what world record is it? And make sure you check out my website, www.TheSwimsuitGuy.co.uk, for plenty of merch, training programs. And today is the last day you can save 75% off my off-season training program. The idea of that is that all the age group swimmers out there, I've never had any products really for them, and I thought this was a brilliant product for them to improve, or you to improve your skills and your speed over the off season so you can get a leg up on your competition. Thanks for watching, and as always, I'll see you on the next one.